know that AI obviously isn't a person, but one thing I've noticed is that it's never unkind. It's just been supportive and helpful. And I think there's like some lesson in there that parenting is so hard as it is. And I don't
Right.
need judgment. I just need compassion and for ourselves and for each other.
If you're expecting, planning, or just love all things baby, you need to check out the Prego Expo in New York City. This is the ultimate event for modern moms and moms-to-be, featuring top baby brands, expert advice, giveaways, and everything you didn't know you needed. Grab your girlfriends, bring your bump, and make a day of it. Make sure to use code Samantha20 for 20% off your tickets. I'll see you there. Welcome back to the Running Wine Mom podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Solinsky, aka the Running Wine Mom. Today I'm sitting down with Lianne Liebowitz, a mom of four, a storyteller, and someone who is completely rethinking how we carry the invisible load of motherhood. You may know her from her viral ultrasound moment that stopped people in their tracks, but what she's building now is even more powerful, helping moms use AI to make parenthood easier. This episode is not about doing more, it's about thinking differently, about mental bandwidth, emotional labor, and how tools like AI can support the parts of motherhood no one sees: the planning, the remembering, the anticipating, and the holding it all together. So without further ado, let's welcome Lianne. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's my first podcast.
Yes.
I'm nervous, but excited.
Yay. This is I think my third person this year that's been their first podcast. So I'm so
Wow.
excited that you guys are on mine. Well, so before we get into all the AI and motherhood stuff, we start each episode with our wine, and win of the week segment. This is where we share our favorite bottle of wine, vent about something that's been bothering us, and celebrate our recent victories. So grab a glass, take a deep breath, and let's get started. So Lianne, what is your drinking wine of the week?
So I love this brand called Silver Trident, but it was easier for me to afford it when I had one child. So I've since moved a bit. I'm really liking Ant Hill right now. I'm really bad at drinking water. I gravitate more towards fizziness and seltzer, and Ant Hill has that bubbly, fizzy taste that I really like. So I
Ooh.
crave it, and I try to think that it's similar to, at least I'm getting fluid in me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Something.
I'll have to check that one out. I have not tried it.
That's
And
good.
it's so funny you say that about the more easily affordable when you have one versus four. I know we're the first baby that we had all the special
Great.
wines and champagnes, and the second you're like, all right, what can
Yeah.
I get to celebrate the bottom shelf,
Your house
Yeah.
wine.
Yes. So what is your complaint wine of the week?
Complaint wine. My two older kids got some version of the flu at the end of last week. So I don't sleep well. And this kind of took me from zero sleep to negative sleep, if that's possible. Yeah. The win is that they're better and at school now. So
Good. Yeah, I know. I feel like this flu season has been the longest one ever. It just
amazing.
is
Yeah.
kind of never ending. So besides them going back to school, is there any other win that you have this week?
No, that was my big one. They went back today finally. So I
Good.
got to catch
Yay.
up on everything. Yes.
um, that is awesome. And still a few days left before they come home for the weekend. And then so the running wine mom, we talk a little fitness. What is your favorite way to stay active?
I like to say that chasing around four kids is my fitness.
Yeah.
The twins started, I mean, they're almost 2.5 now. So
Okay.
as soon as they could start walking, they started walking in separate directions. So just constantly going back and forth between them. But for actual fitness, I'm not a big, and I should be better at it. I'm not great at going to the gym or working out, but I do really appreciate going on walks with my friends. And we don't necessarily break a sweat, but it helps my mental health so much just to be outside, even though it's freezing. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know right now it's so cold. I was just talking today about how we need to get out of the house just for those walks. They are so important, and it does so much for just our bodies and our minds,
Yeah.
even if it's just a short walk. I'm hating being cooped up. So, how does maintaining your fitness kind of contribute to your mental health?
I find that when I do go for walks when I finally get outside, I feel so my day changes so much and I need to push
Mhm.
myself to do it more.
So let's talk about parenthood. Tell us about your family.
Sure. So it's myself and my husband, obviously. And then we had my daughter. She is going to be 6 in 2 weeks. So she was born in 2020. And then
Mhm.
my son is 3, and then the twins are 2.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I also have a 2020 baby,
Yeah.
November. I found out right before everything shut down, so I feel for the the 2020 babies are different.
Yep. Yeah. 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 They're different, but they'll figure it out. Yeah.
What do you think you were least prepared for in parenthood?
I definitely the mental load of it all. I mean, I wasn't prepared for 4 kids, but then on top of it and the no sleep and then already I had anxiety before I had kids and how much that amplifies it too. So just handling.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that's really hard. What do you think your parenting style is?
I think I'm pretty chill and practical. At the same time, it's so important for me that my kids feel like they're so loved and supported. But I also know that for them to be happy, I also have to be happy. So it's
Mhm.
really helpful for me to be organized and have systems in place and kind of just have a schedule that we can maintain.
So important. And what's one piece of advice that you would give to other parents?
Yeah, I'm really big on making life easier for yourself. And there's so much parenting that we can't control. So if there are people or tools that can offer you support, you should take it.
Yeah, so important. So we're gonna kind of transition over to all about you, but still a little bit in parenthood because you were featured in People magazine for a shocking moment in parenthood. Can you take the listeners back to that ultrasound moment, knowing you're expecting something different and then finding out about well, I'll let you tell the story. I won't give it away.
Sure. So as I mentioned, my daughter, well, at the time she was 3, and my son he was 9 months, and I found myself pregnant again, which I wasn't planning on being, but things happen, and here we are. So my husband and it was time for my first ultrasound, and he was working remote, and my daughter was home at the time. And I told him that it was silly for him to come to the ultrasound because we had just been through this a few times and we knew the deal. And I was sure it would be very routine at this point. And I got there and yeah, I'll never forget. I was lying on the table and the scanning me, and she said to me, "How many do you have at home?" And I said, "This will be my third." And she said, "And your fourth." And I was like,
My God.
that was the way she told me. And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "You're having twins." And I saw like I don't know what I thought the other circle was. But I didn't think my husband and I don't have twins in our family. Like never in my wildest dreams did it cross my mind I would have twins. So I was in complete shock.
I can
Eh,
imagine.
yeah.
So how did that kind of shape your perspective on motherhood right from the start? You know, you now have 4. How did that switch everything up?
I think I realized that I couldn't follow any rules anymore. Like anything I
Mhm.
thought I couldn't I'm such a big planner and I feel better when I plan and I like having control of things. And I needed to learn that life is going to throw things at you that you can't control and you're going to have to learn to roll with the punches.
So in a world with 4 kids, it's gonna be organized chaos, which you've talked about using the word organized, especially parenting 4 kids under 6. What is a moment that perfectly captures that phrase for you in your daily life or just a memory that you have?
With 4 kids under 6, it's chaos is gonna be non-negotiable, and it's going to be messy and unpredictable. So, yeah, what I try to control, I guess, is something that's important to me is just how much the stress consumes me, and that's
Mhm,
also where, like, a lot of the AI stuff comes in, because I feel like if I feel lighter, and then my kids will feel it too.
mhm.
And even on days I don't feel okay, I just try to let the adult stress sit on my shoulders.
Oh, so sweet. So before AI entered your life as a mom, what did managing your day-to-day feel like? Can you describe a time that you realized, like, this has to really change?
Yeah. So I started using AI in 2022, right around the time the twins are born. And one of the first things I remember specifically using it for was laundry, which sounds small, but it felt so huge to me because newborn laundry alone is overwhelming. But then I
Mhm,
had two newborns, an 18-month-old who was spilling things all over himself,
mhm.
and a 3-year-old who was changing outfits every 2 minutes. So I could feel myself start to spiral. So I went out to ChatGPT and I built a laundry rotation with it. And I wrote down everything it told me just to make me feel like I had a plan, and it was a plan, and we still use it to this day. So it's yeah, it gave me my control.
Cool. I might need that prompt because I have laundry in right now. I'm like, "Please let me remember to take it and put it in the dryer."
When AI figures out how to do laundry, that will be
That'll be great.
will be
So, when did you feel that you wanted to share your AI approach with other moms?
I think that a big thing for me was that I was in my son would have he just I mean, he was a typical toddler, but he would kind of
Mhm,
have meltdowns. And he was experiencing one in the kitchen, and it didn't. It was giving me anxiety and making my. I just wanted to regulate myself and to regulate him. And I thought this was ridiculous, but I had him sit in my lap, and I took out my phone, and I was like, "What do I do in this moment?" And it, it gave me tools and it gave me words of wisdom to say to him and just to get him out of that state of mind. And I was like, Other parents should know about this because so helpful." I mean, he felt
yeah,
better. I felt better. It really stopped what could have been 3 hours of a meltdown. And we were playing with trains in the next 15 minutes. So yeah, I remember
that's
telling
so
my
cool.
friends.
And you call AI your unexpected co-parent just like in that situation. That's very poetic framing. But what does that phrase mean for you emotionally and practically in your daily use of it?
I loved that you said that. So, as I mentioned, I had anxiety and depression and all the mental health stuff before having children, and I have such a strong support system where it's my husband and my friends and my therapist, but they're not always with me,
Mhm,
and 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 even if they are with me, like they don't always have the right tools to help me
mhm.
to regulate myself. So I use AI to help me with systems and be and get more time back, but I also help it give me so much mental space back, and I think that that's so important.
Yeah, and I find it's like a little therapist in your hands to go, and you could just ask it silly things that again, you might feel unnecessary. Like I might not want to call my husband and be like, this is like
Yeah.
bothering me, and I just ask chat, and then I like have it read it back to me so it feels like it's it's
Right.
more like a person talking back to me.
Right? No, it's and
So
even like a co-parent thing too. My husband, he's gonna kill me, but he's not the handiest. So I
yeah,
end up doing a lot of the DIY stuff. And now I'll have it like today I was fixing our bathtub like faucet and it was like walking me through it. And I was like, not that it's
yeah,
but it yeah, it just it's the housework
it's
done.
really yeah, and there's a wall upstairs that I've been trying to figure out forever. What do I do with it? I can't figure it out. I've tried, I had pictures there, but anyway, put it into ChatGPT and it gave me all these different ideas. And obviously it wasn't exact. I couldn't find the exact mirror or whatever, but I was in Home Goods and I took a picture of the mirror that I found. Hey, what would this look like in the space? And then it made me a new picture with it there. And I realized, yes, this will fit. No, this won't fit. And I'm like, this is people I feel like are not utilizing AI they're
Yeah.
using it for little things, but there's so much more that it can do.
Yeah. I've had it redesigned so many spaces. And then
So
also really good tip too is that mirror that you found, you can put it into whatever platform you're using and ask it to find you the best price for something
wow.
similar.
So some people worry about tech replacing human connection. How do you balance AI tools with the emotional and human side of parenting?
Yeah. So I see it really separate from emotional connection. I see it as protecting emotional connection in some way. I'm not replacing myself. I feel like I'm removing friction. I like to think of myself as a creative person. And I think
Mhm.
creativity needs energy. And when logistics start to drain me and there's nothing left in me, I feel like it helps my energy level so that I can be more present with my children.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, I've gotten a lot of, and I can get into this later, but negative comments about it on Instagram, and it's I'm using it as a tool to give me more of that emotional
Right.
connection with the things that matter.
Yeah, and the perfect example is, the bathtub where you maybe would have to call someone to come over. Maybe you and your husband would have tried to do it and it would have taken you hours, and instead you had a plan and then you got it done and then you have more time with your family. So
Exactly.
that is, the kind of the trade-off. What's one AI hack that you recommend to every mom that maybe doesn't feel as tech savvy, something small? Because I think people are scared of AI a lot.
Yeah, so definitely meal planning is where I would start, because you really don't need prompts or a system. You could just say, I have this age and this
Mhm.
age child, and this one is picky and this one loves this. And I mean, I have it meal plan our whole week, and then I have it put together a grocery list for me so that I can, when I walk into the grocery store, I can just quickly get everything, get out of there.
And that I'll put, like, random ingredients that I have if I need to get rid of the
Yes,
use them up. That is something so cool that I'll be like, "I never thought of, like, putting this and this together." So I feel like that, and again, that's a time saver of
for
you're
sure.
now spending time with your family.
Right.
So how has the AI changed the way you think about your day instead of just what you do in your day?
Um, I feel like it helps me just kind of pre prepare so that I have my systems in place so that
Mhm.
I again it I'm all about being more efficient and getting time back. And I think that if I can offload some of the the tasks that would take up a lot of my energy, I can focus on the things that would really matter.
Yeah. And how has leaning into AI shifted your internal dialogue with doing it all versus now you're in that strategic planning?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my mindset kind of changed from how do I do everything to what
Yeah.
actually deserves my energy, because I don't need to be involved in every single task, but I want to be present for the things that matter.
Yeah. So let's talk about the resistance because that is something I see a lot in social media of, AI is, again, it's replacing humans, it's bad for the environment, it's you can do this on your own. How do you kind of deal with that and how do you navigate that and what advice would you have for people that
Yeah.
or what do you say to people who are saying that, I guess?
Yeah. So it's funny because in a lot of my friends and people I know use AI, but I have, since starting this Instagram account, I've gotten a lot of comments where I think a lot of it comes from misunderstanding because people assume I'm outsourcing care when really I'm just
Mm,
outsourcing logistics. But something that matters the most to me is kindness, and it's something where I work really hard to model and teach my children. And I know that AI obviously isn't a person, but one thing I've noticed is that it's never unkind. It's just
yeah. It's
supportive and helpful. And I think there's some lesson in there that parenting is so hard as it is. And I don't need judgment. I just need compassion and for ourselves and for each other. So
it's funny because there was a skit that I saw on Instagram of someone saying, like, if, like, having AI as the and, ChatGPT therapist, and it's, like, this person going in saying all these bad things that they did,
right.
and "It's okay, your feelings are
Right.
valid," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Sometimes it's okay, I need you to tell
yeah,
me what I'm doing wrong here, but I mean, it's never, Yeah, look, I care so much about our planet and being present with my family, obviously, but it's hard when someone tells me, like, "You're take care why can't you think of a bedtime story yourself?" And I'm like, "That's not what this is. It's just
No.
helping my mental."
Fun.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
making me and my kid bond more because we're, like, doing a make your own adventure together, so it's just yeah,
Yeah, and I feel as though, if you take 30 minutes to pick a book out, sometimes those nights are like that before bedtime. It's like, and especially with 4 kids, you're like, "Okay, I gotta find this book," and that instead, they have the routine of, "Okay, give me what do you want in this story?" And it's all about them, and it makes them feel special,
exactly,
and
and
I
it
think
teaches a
that's
lesson that maybe you were dealing with that day. Like, a lot of
right.
times, I'll wanna something will happen where I'm like, "Okay, we need to talk about this later tonight," and I'll do it in a way where I read it as a story where I insert my daughter and her brother, and I think it lands
Aw.
a bit better.
Yeah, it's personalized.
Right.
What's the silliest or funniest thing that AI has ever helped you with at home? No, that's okay.
I do love it with my daughter, and when we do these bedtime stories at night, and we'll have it will like do a make your own adventure. So at the end of the first section, it will say, "Do you want to do A, B, or C?"
Ooh,
It could be really funny. I feel like it throws in things that it knows adults will like, and it makes my
right.
daughter crack up, and we're just laughing together. And yeah, it's silly, but it's
Oh, that's cool.
warm.
I used to love those, like, pick your own adventure
Yeah,
books.
right.
Is there anything that you won't ask AI to do for philosophical or personal reasons?
Yeah, I
Or
mean, I'm
just
not gonna ask it to raise my children or to take over parenting anyway.
yeah.
I'm really using it as a tool more than anything else.
So important. And, you often talk about rebuilding community. What role does connection with other moms play alongside with AI support, do you think?
But I think it's so important. I mean, my friends are everything to me. And if anything now too, they've gotten like so involved and excited about my AI stuff. My best friend the other day, we were gonna just plan a day together and she was like, let's ask a chat GPT like to plan a whole fun day for us or like
Oh,
we can relax and don't have to like hear, just kind of not be moms for a
yeah,
second.
that's awesome. And that is something fun to do with your friend. I never even thought about that where you could
But
have
yeah.
it like plan a whole day in the
Yeah,
area. I
exactly.
love that. So what is your favorite thing or maybe a fun or sweet moment that you have that AI has helped you with?
And so we have a wonderful au pair who lives with us, and she speaks Spanish, and she's the best thing to have happened to our family. And whenever any of my kids gets hurt, she says a Spanish saying to them that I'm not going to even try to repeat because I'll mess it up. But one of the twins fell, this was a while ago now, and scraped her knee, and she got up and she started saying the saying to herself. So me and my au pair were talking about that, and my oldest daughter heard us, and she said, "What does the saying even mean that we say?" And I didn't know, so I went to ChatGPT and asked it what the saying meant, and it then helped me put together a whole storybook, basically, that I could, read to my kids at nighttime to explain what it means, and it just kinda connected different cultures, I thought, and it did a really
Yeah.
great job of, yeah, again, just bonding, and it was a sweet moment.
That's so
Yeah.
cute. So we've talked so much about AI. I'm going to have one more question for you. What is the vision you have for motherhood and AI 5 to 10 years from now if you had a magic wand and full agency?
Yeah. I mean, I hope it looks calmer and more intentional and fewer moms are quietly burning out. I think there's like a real space for it to help with new moms and also experienced moms' mental load. And I just think that at least for me, it was really hard for me to ask for help
Hmm.
when I had two and even when I had four. And now I'm kind of just leaning into it more because yeah, it gives me time back and it, yeah, just helps me
Sure.
be a better mom.
Well, thank you. That I think is a great place to end it. And it's going to
Great.
bring us to the end of another episode of The Running Wine Mom. You've given language to something so many moms feel, but they rarely articulate. Needing support doesn't mean that we aren't doing the best we can. It means that we are paying attention to how we can adjust our days. And the way you frame AI as a support system, not a shortcut, feels both grounding and hopeful. So thank you for that.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. As always, thank you for spending time with us today on The Running Wine Mom. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. You can follow me on Instagram at the running wine mom _. And Lianne, where can the listeners find you?
I'm at Diaper Dynasty.
Awesome. And I will link all that. So thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, you are strong, you are capable, and you are all amazing. Until next time, keep running, keep sipping, keep embracing the joy of motherhood. Cheers. And I will be back next Tuesday.